Swingers unite! Join your favorite lifestyle podcasters for a 3-night hotel takeover in Miami at Podcastapalooza. And it's hosted by the Swinging Down Under podcast, so you're going to want to reserve your spot today at podcast-a-palooza.com/manwhore so they know who sent you. The Man Whore podcast is sponsored by hotmovies.com. Try out some ethical, paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret subscriptions when you sign up at hotmovies.com and use the promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
What's up, all you sluts and hoes and dames and darlings? This is Billy Procida, and you are listening to the Man Whore Podcast. Hey, hey, ho, ho. This patriarchy's got to go. School is back in session. Everyone. I got cock-blocked the other day because she had to, debrief the first day of school with her kids. So I'm not happy about it. But as we do enter a new semester, I do get to start working with a new intern, and I am excited about that. However, in the search for my intern this fall, I received what must be the world's horniest cover letter ever written. And I had to share it with y'all. I mean, I have put it up on social media, so some of y'all might have seen this, like on my Twitters, on the Man Whore Podcast Facebook fan page. But this is just, wow. Anywhere where there's identifying information, I'm going to put in some flim-flam, okay? Because obviously anonymity and stuff. Hello, Billy. My name is Flim Flam, and I am a sophomore at Shamoa University in Stupatupa. I fortuitously found your internship job listing after Googling intern asked if I could fuck her. So trust me when I say that I truly believe this was a match made in heaven. You fascinate me, and your podcast's mission deeply resonates with my own philosophy. You want to rip away the mystical veil over sex, hookups, and relationships. You want to use comedy and your own life experiences to connect to a wider audience. You want to harness this wave of popularity about sex positivity in the mainstream. I am enthusiastic about your podcast's missions because they align to the ambitions I crave as both a slut and a young professional. This internship is a rare behind-the-scenes opportunity to receive your mentorship about my own greatest interest melange, podcasting and sex education work. I'm confident that my personal drive and professional work ethic will help you secure and execute your fall strategy. Growing up in a traditional Mamonese family, I understand firsthand the importance of sex education. I love sex, and I am very comfortable with the contents of your podcast. Ever since I accidentally orgasmed at age 7 in the family van, I've had plenty of experiences on the interwebs and in random hot tubs to know that working on your podcast would be a perfect fit. You can trust that I am ready to discuss any kinks, any plans, and any brainstorming to aid in the execution of your podcast tasks. For example, I am currently lying down on my bed writing this cover letter because my back, butt, pussy, and thighs are utterly demolished from getting fucked 7 times last night. Yes, 7 times to completion. Just like in this cover letter, you can guarantee that no topic would be off limits with me. I am open-minded, focused on accomplishing our objectives, and unafraid to tell you to lay off the donut holes if needed. Look, she's not fat-shaming me out of nowhere. In the job listing, I say that you need to let me know if I'm gaining weight, because I can't tell. She is properly responding to the ad listing, I just want to say. Okay, at Shamoa University, my favorite course so far was actually all about sex, taught by this one professor, Professor Matomanuman. Both of my personal essays for her class received the grades of A. You will see from my resume that my strengths, she really missed an opportunity to play with the scarlet letter A, but it's okay. You will see from my resume that my strengths are public speaking, writing, and organization. Additionally, as the creative director for Chamonix University's only editorial magazine, I am well versed in aesthetics and branding. Currently, I am interning in until August for the local city government. Which, what a transition from local city government interning to Horde Boy podcast interning. My daily work here includes very similar production, research, and administrative tasks as those for which you are seeking an intern. Politics is a dirty business, after all, and I would expect no less from the Man Whore podcast. As your intern, I will also make myself completely available to you by phone, FaceTime, or email throughout the week. I would love to continue this conversation and answer any questions you might have so that we can work together in full confidence. Thank you for your consideration. Pen. Anyone else ever get hard reading a cover letter? That's uncomfortable, but yet so well written. You can't be mad about it because it's like she took the time, sit there and write this thing, apparently while her pussy was sore. So, this go around of looking for an intern was certainly more entertaining than it usually is. And if she's listening, it's like, thank you for, something to whack off to, because that was amazing. I don't whack off to the interns. I'm not gross. I whack off to intern applicants. There's a difference. Okay. Watching in a year and a half, Ella Dawson's going to quote me on that as if I said it sincerely. But I do have an intern. I finally met up with someone who did get the internship, and she seems great. So I'm excited for that. But I'm also excited to give you some of these. You know what time it is. Let's do them.
Get them hot. Get them dates. Show dates.
Yes. Los Angeles. Next week, September 3rd, I'm going to be at Dime Bar, just south of Hollywood, 8 p.m. Ithaca, New York, September 27th. I'm going to be at Circus Culture. Romulus, New York, September 28th. I'm at Button Winery. Both of those upstate gigs are part of the Finger Lakes Comedy Festival. For more information and tickets. And Mishawaka, Indiana. It's my most consistent gig. For some reason, once a year, I go to some weird bar show out in who knows where, Indiana. Mishawaka, Indiana, October 15th. I'm at Smokestack Brew House. I'll be featuring out there. So come on out to those. Also, New York City folks, people in the New York metropolitan area, that extends up to Connecticut. Connecticut, you should listen up to. September 21st and 22nd, I will be at the Brooklyn Sex Expo. I'm going to have a booth all to my lonesome. Come on over, take a selfie, say hello, buy some merch. I'm going to be raffling off a free Motor Bunny. Oh, yeah. If you don't know what the Motor Bunny is, go to motorbunny.com, take a look. I'll say this, it is a pricey yet powerful sex toy. And the Brooklyn Sex Expo is free to attend, so come to this free event, submit to this free raffle to win a free, stupidly expensive sex toy. For more information, I think you're supposed to reserve a free ticket. Go to sexexpo.com. All right. But I've also been on some podcasts recently. I don't normally update y'all every time I do a podcast, but these were particularly fun, and they've all come out around the same time. So I wanted to just let y'all know some other podcasts to check out, and you can hear me on them too. Keith and the Girl. I just came back from recording Keith and the Girl. I have an episode coming out tomorrow, Thursday, but I was also on not too long ago, maybe 1 or 2 months ago. So you can check me out there. I was also on a show called Private Parts Unknown. Talked a lot about organizing gangbangs. I can say that much. And then I was on this really fun show called Who Cares About Patrick and Ross? And Patrick and Ross are a newly ethically non-monogamous married couple. Patrick is Patrick Holber, a stand-up comedian here in New York. I went on their show and we connected so good. Talked a lot about ethical non-monogamy, sex parties. It's a good one. Go check that out. So Keith and the Girl, Private Parts Unknown, Who Cares About Patrick and Ross? I'll have those podcast names in the show notes, but those are definitely worth checking out. Can I tell you all about something cool? Because this is supposed to be an ad read, but honestly, this just seems like a dope event I want to go to. Okay, so there's this thing called Podcastapalooza. Podcastapalooza is a 3-night adult hotel takeover. And those of y'all in the lifestyle know that the hotel takeover is some swinger terminology. Yeah. Podcastapalooza is going to be in Miami next May in 2020, but tickets are already available because we know you got to plan these vacations, these trips quite a bit in advance. Podcastapalooza is for all non-monogamous and curious couples, no matter what your couple looks like. Podcastapalooza is hosted by the Swinging Down Under podcast, as well as 9 other lifestyle podcast bloggers and coaches. But this event, everybody, it's limited to only 200 people, so you're going to want to get your tickets soon. If you want a weekend of curated but spontaneous fun, you're not going to want to miss this. They've got parties during the day. They've got parties at night. They've got topless pool parties. They got play spaces. They got sex-positive seminars. Honestly, I want to go to this thing. Anyone want to take me? I'm poor. This event is unlike any other where sex is not just celebrated, but embraced in style. Did you miss ManWhoreCon? You might want to check this out because it seems like there's going to be a very similar, like-minded vibe. I know this isn't until next May, but there's limited availability, and they've already sold over 25% of their tickets. So you're going to want to go get your tickets reserved right now and start planning your spring vacation. Go to podcast-a-palooza.com/manwhore. That's podcast-a-palooza.com/manwhore. You know, you go there, go through that URL. That way they know the whore boy sent you. Maybe they'll send me down there in 2021. And then seriously, if someone wants to take me, I shouldn't say anyone, it's kind of loose and a little too inviting, but if someone wants to take me, I mean, let's talk, shoot me an email. Again, that is podcast-a-palooza.com/manwhore. Don't worry, I got a link in the show notes. Oh God, that seems like so much fun. Seems like it would be like me attending someone else's ManWhoreCon, and that just sounds so relaxing and like a good time. And before we get to my guest this week, Hannah Boone, it's time for the fan whore appreciation moment. Okay. This is the part of the podcast where I like to give a shout out to some of the members of my fan whore community on Patreon. Patreon is a membership platform where you can gain access to sex-positive discussion groups, over 100 bonus episodes, and oh so much more. So right now I want to give a shout-out to Margie H., a self-described slothicorn. Ooh, slothicorn. Part unicorn, part sloth. So much fun and so chill and relaxed. I love it. Thank you for your support. What's up, Liz? Hey, ManWhoreCon next year? Maybe Podcastapalooza? I don't know. It's been fun getting to know you in the champagne room. And I want to give another shout out to Alex. Alex Blue, making me blue. You were a short-term pledge, but hey, quickies can be fun too. I'd rather you pledge and delete than not pledge at all. So thank you for your limited time only support. And you too can become a member for as little as $2 a month. Yeah, that's all it takes to join us in our secret Facebook group, The Champagne Room. You can become a member today at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Hannah Boone, everybody. She's so funny. I've known her quite a few years here in the New York City stand-up scene. Let's go talk to Hannah Boone. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by and deeply appreciates the support of HotMovies.com. HotMovies.com is a pay-per-minute porn site that gives you an ethical and affordable way to hashtag pay for your porn. And I know that the concept of paying for porn makes some people nervous, makes some people scoff. Dare I say, it makes some people guffaw. but you should do it, even just a little bit. They've got hundreds of thousands of videos from all of your favorite porn stars, all your favorite porn studios. They got fetishes on here I didn't even know existed. And you can test it out for free. That's okay. I understand. You're like, what? Pay for porn? Once you try it, you're going to like it. You can get a 40-minute free trial when you go to hotmovies.com and use promo code MANWHORE. Yes, they're going to ask for a credit card, but this is what I love about the site. There's no hidden fees or secret subscriptions. I know a lot of you out there, some of you have tried paying for porn. You get like a free trial. It goes past the 3 days. You forget to cancel it. 3 months later, you're like, why am I missing, $300 from my bank account? It's because all these free trials you signed up for had secret subscriptions attached to it. No, Hot Movies never charges you unless you ask them to charge you. I trust this site, and trust is a big deal in the internet age that we're living in. So head on over now to hotmovies.com. Use promo code MANWHORE for 20 extra minutes on top of any package you sign up for, including a 40-minute free trial. Head on over there and check out My Intense Orgasm, Temptation at Home 3, or Lesbian Psychodramas 33. I guess lesbians have a lot of psychodramas, not just drama, but psychodrama, and so many that there's dozens of them. Oh boy, hotmovies.com, promo code MANWHORE, and now, Hannah, Boone. Same spiel as last time. Hopefully less of the Holy Ghost around.
Yeah, or like around is like a little more subtle.
I'm just not sure if like that just means that the Lord's voice is actually overpowering. It's like,
yeah, that was just the Lord. It wasn't like a crosswire or anything.
Yeah, it's
it was just
like
God.
That. Well, so the first time that happened, so hi everybody. I'm here with Hannah Boone, fellow comedian again. I don't feel like doing a grandiose intro because this is number 2. So Hannah and I recorded like a few days ago, and then I just went. It's Tuesday night. I was about to edit this, slap it up onto the iTunes, and then go on like a fun little date thing with some chick from Instagram. But then I hit play. And I just hear, God is Lord.
Which I didn't say.
I'm just like, oh no. So yeah, apparently some sort of radio frequency thing happened. It's happened a few times. But usually it's a lot fainter. Usually it's like occasionally and in the background. But this one, like, it was overwhelming our voices. It's the whole recording. I remember this happened with like a bonus episode I did with a dominatrix. And at one point we could hear in the headphones like, and the blood of sinners rained down.
Well, it's ironic that the dominatrix voice was overpowered.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when we heard them talking about sinners and blood falling, and we were just like, are they talking about us?
Yeah.
I think they're talking about us, the whores. But awesome. I'm glad you were available so last minute, so thanks for coming back.
Oh, yeah. Free as a bird. I don't do anything, so I'm around.
Well, we may or may not repeat a couple things.
Oh, totally. Let's repeat it all.
Repeat it all. Let's see if we can just memorize all the bits verbatim.
Yeah, no. This is better. I think we're both in a better place than we were that day. We were both a little frazzled.
I was so frazzled.
I'm really actually happy that episode got ruined. I was like, I did a bad job. So
Can I be real with you?
Yeah.
I'm glad it got ruined.
Oh, I'm so glad I got you guys. Yeah. Whoever's listening, it was really that you're lucky. It was bad.
Well, as a whole, it was bad. But like I had us go over because I was like, I know I can edit it down to get it tight and fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is rough now, but it's like I can tighten this up and it'll be great. Mm-hmm. But it's also because like I can leave a recording, and if I feel bad, I know it was like my fault. Like I know it was like there's something there like I wasn't on. Because I've had difficult guests, and I've left being like that wasn't great, and it was them. But I left the place being like, oh man, I didn't do my job as a host. I missed something.
That's
I'm
a
glad
relief.
to think you also thought it was your fault.
Yeah, no, that's a relief. I thought it was all my fault. So I'm glad to hear that you also felt bad. I love when people feel bad. So that's good.
Yeah, hi listeners. I was prepared to put something out that like maybe we both weren't proud about.
We were just hoping you guys would love it for no reason.
And not necessarily all about topic matter. It was more just like I feel like we both felt like we could have.
I had literally just woken up from a nap, and it was dog sitting and tried to walk the dog, and like I was like, but I'm not home. Like it was like I was just frantic.
And like I just hadn't prayed to my God that day, and apparently showed up to tell me about it.
Well, he prayed to you.
Oh yeah, but I'm glad you come back. So as you were saying before, like You love talking about mental health on podcasts.
I love talking about mental health. Well, it loves me. I don't know if I love it. It finds me.
Well, you are, you said bipolar and borderline, or just borderline?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, I'm both.
both. Your boyfriend must be so thrilled.
Oh, he loves it. It was so funny. I actually just went on medication, and we've been together 5 months. And I was like, okay, I'm finally on medication. And he was like, what? And I was like, what? And he was like, you haven't been on medication the whole time we've been together? And I was like, no. And then he seemed so genuinely relieved. Like, he was like, wow. And like, he seemed excited.
Like, good.
Yeah,
Thank
like
God.
it gets
He
easier.
felt about you getting on medication the way we did about the episode.
Yeah.
getting messed up.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, cool. We could try this again.
It gets easier. Well, I had been had just had a manic episode and broke up with him and was like, oh my God. And like, oh my God. And I had a drug relapse too, and it was like really insane. And then I think like I came back and was like, I don't want to break up with you. And he's like, what's happening? And I'm like, I'm mentally ill and I'm fixing it. And he was like, oh, good.
No, but did he know now? But you knew which one's the more recent diagnosis? Or is it just the medication was the only thing?
Medication was the thing. I got diagnosed with bipolar over and over in my life, like
And
for
then
a long
borderline
time.
was the one a year and a half ago.
Yeah, borderline was more recent.
So he knew you were mentally ill, but he just didn't know you were medicated. You weren't medicated.
He didn't know I wasn't medicated. Yeah, so I think he's excited. As am I.
The new you.
Yeah, to me, like it's always scary to like. I was scared to go on medication because I'm like, what if it's like makes me a different person or whatever? But it doesn't. It's just me, and I don't feel so bad all the time.
Yeah,
it's like me without feeling horrible.
Oh,
so it's like
that's
fine.
nice.
And I do believe this country's over medicated and big pharma and all that.
Yeah,
but I do know from personal experience, this one medication makes me feel better. So why not?
How does, and I'm assuming you've broken up erratically, like in an episode with people before.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you didn't necessarily mean it. So like, how do you know in your head how do you know when to go back and be like, I'm sorry, I was having a thing, versus like, oh no, I actually wanted to break up. It's just violenter than I thought.
I've broken up and legit been like, that was a great idea because I feel happy and relieved. I also have broken up and gone back when I shouldn't have gone back many times. This one, I mean, I'm in love with him, and this is the first person I've been in love with, and he treats me beautifully, and just like the things I was breaking up with him for were very normal relationship like annoyances. They weren't like a reason to dump somebody.
Right.
And I mean, and also the pain I felt wasn't just normal breakup pain. It was like, this isn't right. Like I was like, something's wrong. And I was making a billion bad decisions, and my friends were like, no.
What are we talking about when we say bad decisions?
I mean, I barely even understand. It was such a blur. But I mean, and it wasn't a decision, but I mean, I hadn't slept in I think I went 4 days, no sleep, which is like, you're insane. You're like clinically insane at that point. I've had like psychotic breaks from not sleeping because these manic episodes are so strong. And I was like thinking about, I was like, I need to stop comedy. And then I was like, I need to quit my job. And then I was like, and it was like, stop it. And I was like showing up to work on 4 days of no sleep. And luckily my boss is a sweet, understanding angel and like just told me to go to bed. But I got there and I was like, what work do I need to do? And apparently I was just out of my mind. And she was like, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's hyped that you're back on the medication.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
My. Has he already noticed the difference? I know it's only been like a week and a half.
But this medication I'm on is supposed to release immediately. They always put me on like the emergency. They're like, right now. But yeah, I mean, we've been getting along better. I've noticed the difference. Like, I don't get so angry. Like when he does certain things, I have the ability to stop and think and be like, you know, where's he coming from? Why did that upset me? Because he does things that aren't even bad, and I like get upset. We talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but like when he doesn't want to have sex, I used to just be like, why? And now I still don't love it, but I'm like, you're allowed. Like, it's fine.
I guess you have agency.
Yeah,
you dick guy.
I guess I won't commit a crime.
I guess,
okay.
I guess I won't commit a crime is a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you this before. It's like I've been legit yelled at for not for not doing anything, for like eating all the pussy and then not wanting to, put my dick there that particular night. And I've had like a few women that like raise their voice at me.
Yeah, we need to like sue Judd Apatow. That's what I was saying. Is all those like men movies where they're like men constantly want sex no matter what, and stand up, you see it a lot in stand up.
I think that's just society. I think that's just always been the idea, is that men always want. That's why like y'all were currency for a while.
Yeah, sure.
Because
and like,
that's how much we
it.
allegedly wanted to fuck all the time.
But like I've never met a man who wants to fuck as much as like so many men claim to want to fuck. Like I remember when I was like in my early 20s, late teens, like I would just go up to dudes and be like, do you want to fuck me? And like mean it. But they would get scared. And
where'd you go to school, and why did we never cross paths? That sounds awesome.
I mean, I wasn't like hitchhiking across the country on a fuck tour, but like I was.
Hi, can I fuck you?
I wasn't like working.
Have you seen those videos where they'll do like the kiss experiment, or they've had things where they'll have like a hot woman go up to guys on the street and be like, hey, I think you're really cute, and like I have a room at that hotel. Would you want to like have sex?
Yeah,
and almost every guy who said yes.
Really?
Whereas then they had a really hot guy go on and ask women the same thing, and not as successful. We'll say.
Well, right, sure. I mean, murder's always in our mind too, but but like like I would do. And
but
actually,
I'll tell you this way: if a woman comes up to me on the street and just says like, "Hey, want to have sex?" Like I have a hotel room right there. I'm not thinking about murder,
right? Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, something's up.
Well, yeah, it's weird,
and there's a good chance she's acting with other people.
Yeah,
so it's like I'm concerned,
right?
But like I'm not concerned 1-on-1. I'm concerned about like a 3-on-1. I'm concerned what they did back in the day. Do you know what they did like in the 19th century? Prostitutes would have one of the regular way to steal from people was you get a prostitute to get a John in. She'd be fucking and then like her partner or someone would like be hiding in a closet or something, quietly grab the pants or whatever and the wallet and sneak out.
That's
and they would steal them that way.
That's really
rob
smart.
them that way.
I should do that.
Or sometimes they would drug the guy that they lured in for prostitution.
Easy.
Drug him, steal, leave. Yeah,
drugs always. We've been drugging for a long
called
time.
Cardi B.
Yeah.
Today.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah. Do you find the medication affecting your libido at all?
No, mood stabilizers tend not to. I have been on antidepressants that do that, and I was like, absolutely not. Like I was like, I will not. That's why I had so much trouble with medication. The side effects. I was like, no. I
shared this with you before. Most of what we say is going to call back to stuff that no one's ever going to hear because the Lord deemed it not worthy.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, we didn't hear it. Move on.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay.
It's like, no. we struggled so hard through that hour.
Yeah, we did. We really did. We're just both like recently high. And we're like,
But it is like, so I've gone through my waves of low libido and like right now, really battling which way I'm going to go for the next month.
Yeah.
But, the dissonance between like my body's not horny, I want to be horny.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be horny and I knew I wasn't.
Yeah.
What was it like for you when you were on antidepressants? I've never been on SSRIs or anything. So what's it like knowing that you're not horny, recognizing it? Like what's that reaction?
Well, what sucks about SSRIs, you get horny, or I got horny, could not come. So you get and men can't either. So it's like, you can last forever and never, you can't come. Even like by myself, I couldn't come.
Okay.
And it's funny, I told it one time I was on SSRI and that had happened to me before for real. And I just started an SSRI and I like couldn't come. And I went to my doctor and I was like, this isn't big. He's like a young man. And I'm like, I can't come. And he was like, well, is it your partner? And I was like, no, I can't come like by myself. And he was like, well, to be honest with you, the SSRI, there's no way it's taken effect yet. So that's a separate issue. And I was like, well, and have a good day. I was like, goodbye. It was like very embarrassing. I just like didn't do a good job or something. But I still stopped taking it. So I was like, I'm not even risking it.
Do they advise like anything about your dating life when they like prescribe you medication or even when they diagnose you with these types of disorders?
No, but there's information out there. My boyfriend, when we started dating, started reading a book on dating someone with borderline.
Okay.
God knows if he's actually reading it. And he got it and like, probably read 5 pages, but like maybe he read it. I don't know. But he did get it. He did buy a book on it. So there's like literature out there. As far as we go, we like talk in therapy about it, but they don't like I think, in my opinion, a good therapist doesn't really give a lot of advice. Like my therapist does not give me any advice. He listens and that's it.
All right. But then mixing that with like sobriety stuff, like they say, like in the first 12 months, like you're supposed to not be having relationships.
I mean, and that's just because you're so up and down and rocky and left and right. And the emotions that come with relationships, I mean, you could go out so easily. Like you could relapse so easily. I know when I'm in a relationship, it becomes like a lot more tempting to use and drink for sure. Even if I'm happy. Yeah, even if I'm happy.
Have you, how long ago was the relapse?
A couple weeks ago. That I haven't had alcohol in a couple years, but I relapsed on pills, which is like same.
Does that have anything to do with why you went on medication, or totally unrelated?
That had to do with it because I was in such a bad manic episode, and all I wanted was to sleep, and I got to such a point of insanity that I took some downers because I was like, I need to and they didn't work. I was up all night sick because I took too many. Not on purpose, but it was really dangerous. And like, but I was just so like, I have to fucking sleep. And I like didn't. And I was like breaking up with my boyfriend for no reason. So I was like sad. So it was like that combo wasn't great. Well,
so why do you want to, when you're in a relationship, like why is it that you want to use?
The feelings are so intense, you know, like being that intimate with someone and like sharing all those like the good times. I want to like celebrate by drinking, and the bad times I want to numb myself with drinking. You know what I mean? I'm just an alcoholic who wants to drink all the time, and I'm scared of feelings. And my boyfriend drinks, so that's like a little bit hard. I mean, he's great. I asked him not to drink around me right now, and he's not.
Has he ever like been like, oh, come on, have a beer?
Oh God, no! I would dump him immediately if someone did that to me. Oh my God!
I got someone who like when I'm on I was on a diet, and she loves food. Loves food, and then I'll be like, you can't. If I tell you I'm not eating carbs 6 days a week, like if we go out, you can't be like, oh come on, have a French fry. You can't do that because like then I will. It's like it's already hard enough not to. Yeah. Has anyone done keto? Like it's fucking it's bonkers. And then like if you're gonna offer it to me, like a hot chick offers me French fry, like I'm gonna want to eat it. So just don't do that. And I've like caught on it actually like multiple times.
So she does that.
She did when I was doing that diet, or when I was trying to start a diet a couple times.
That's shitty. Someone should lift you up, not fucking.
Well, she wants to lift me up in that like she's like she comes from the place of I think you're sexy. I love your body. Yeah. I don't think you need a diet. Sure. And I would like you to have these French fries with me.
Yeah.
Because like I know, Billy, that you want these. So just have them and be happy. And she doesn't recognize I was like, it will make me unhappy tomorrow to have that now, and it's already really hard to like not do it.
Well, and the only difference is like I would be annoyed if my boyfriend did something like that, you know? Like but I would get it, but I'd be annoyed too. But the difference is alcohol will kill me. So if he's encouraging me to have something that's going to like ruin my life and then kill me, that's ignorance, and that's like not having a consideration for like my well-being. I mean, he even one night I asked him not to drink in front of me, and he did bring a beer over, and I was like, hey. And I think it kind of slipped his mind, and he was like,
What do you mean he brought a singular beer over, like in a back pocket?
He brought like a tall boy over to my place. Okay. And then he was like, yeah, kind of. And then he was like, I was like, I didn't want you to drink. And even then he was kind of like, I've really been wanting to drink lately. And I'm like, you can't argue this. You can't. I can't.
Have it before you come here.
Yeah. I was just like, you can't. Or like, even before you come, it's like, there's something about like, if I can't have it. Normally I'm cool around people drinking. I don't give a shit. But recently with my recent relapse, I was like, I can't be around it.
How was dating for you as a sober person before you met this guy?
It's good. You know what? Like, I like it because I can tell immediately if I like someone or not. I don't have to like wade through drunkenness to figure it out. I think it's so important to feel jitters and nerves when you start dating. Are we not recording?
No, you're good.
I was like, oh God, this one's good.
I'm looking at you.
I was like, no.
I'm looking. No, I was just like checking, making sure the things, with making sure the lights are on.
All right.
If stuff dies, it doesn't make noises. Like if the card fills up or the battery does. There's actually, Mark Maron had an episode with John Turturro that apparently something happened that has happened to me on multiple occasions that made me feel better. He's like, the card filled up, but it doesn't make a noise if it fills up. You just keep thinking you're talking.
No.
Now I have a mega big card, so I'm not worried about it, but he lost like a big, like he probably talked to John Turturro for like half hour, 40 minutes, and then found out like lost it at some point, had a breakdown in front of John Turturro just broke down,
That's
freaked out.
great.
Like, oh,
That's
dude,
great.
sorry, I got to reset. I've never done this because, like, he's like, oh, I look like an amateur in front of John Turturro.
As someone who's had breakdowns in front of all the wrong people, I appreciate it.
But so what like whenever I match with someone or go out with someone who like is not drinking or doesn't do drugs, I mean drugs, parties, whatever, but they're not drinking, I feel like I gotta come up with different date ideas.
You do. And here's what I find out with not drinking.
Early date ideas, because I like coming up with date ideas when I'm dating
But
someone.
early
ones I try
yeah.
to like keep it simple.
I mean, this boyfriend, we went to bars. Like, I think he was very much, he was my first Bumble date, but he'd been dating. So he wasn't like in the mood to get creative. I think he was like, well, we were going to get coffee. And I actually I like ditched. And then it was like 10 p.m. when we did meet up. So I was like, okay, let's just go to a bar and whatever. And I just had seltzer and honestly, it was fine. But then that's the thing is people who drink are so boring. Like not everyone, but like they're just, every guy is like, let's go to a bar. And I'm like, dude, I mean, I'm talking about fucking like stupid shit, but like mini golf, bowling, go-karting, rock climbing, fucking like paddle boats, like daytime dates. Like we can go, you know what I mean? Like there's so much shit to do. And you could drink while you do it, like whatever. But I will say watch it though if you're with someone who doesn't drink, because it's very unattractive to see someone get drunk.
Yeah, there's also no reason to get drunk with
Right.
someone who's not getting drunk.
Right, that's a red
one-on-one.
flag.
Like, there's just no need to.
Yeah, and if there is a need to, you might have a little bit of a dependency.
Yeah.
And I think people don't want to feel jitters and like nerves.
Yeah.
Which I think is okay to be nervous and awkward. It's dating. It's weird. Like, be nervous.
Sit in those nerves.
Yeah, they
Sit
help
in the
you.
discomfort.
Yeah, they help you see if you match with this person. Because if you match with this person, the nerves will die down. But if they don't die down, fourth date, I mean, I don't know why you'd last that
I would
long.
never make it for
Yeah.
date. I was going to say, if the nerves don't die down, it might be a sign of that you're into it because you're nervous.
Oh,
if,
sure.
like, you're not into it,
Sure.
you'll stop being nervous because you're like, this person's lame.
Dating's confusing.
And you start roasting them in your head
Yeah.
across the table.
Yeah, if you're like bored, that's true. That's true. But I mean, either way, like the nerves are important. They tell you what they're supposed to tell you, you know? Like you get rid of your instincts, I feel like, when you drink with someone.
Even if you want to do, like, even if it's nighttime stuff, like, try a park. Like, go to a park or go get, like, a milkshake. Go find, like, the cool milkshake spot. Be like, best milkshakes in New York City. Really, all you gotta do is do best non-alcoholic whatever in city that you're in, and you have a date.
My favorite date is walking around. I love long walks. Like, not to sound like an idiot, but I do.
Why would it make you an idiot?
Like long walks on the beach, but they're
Makes
great
you
long walks
sound
on
in
the beach.
shape.
Yeah, no, I'm really in shape. Everyone should know I'm very in shape. But no, long walks are like awesome, and especially through New York City where we are. Like that, I mean, you run into stuff to do.
I mean, I'm a New York history buff, so like that's.
Oh, cool.
I'm all about that. I'll pick give me a neighborhood I've listened to enough podcasts about, so I can just wax intellectual. Like, hey, check out how much impressive useless knowledge I have on this thing.
I love when men explain things to me.
I love explaining things. It's
so
like
perfect.
That's what I look for in a woman, is like someone who will quietly let me explain even though she totally knows everything I'm saying. That's my type. Someone already knows it, but will let me feel important sometimes.
Sometimes is the key word.
Yeah, just sometimes.
Every now and then.
And then you can make me feel silly afterwards, but you will sit and listen to me wax on about, Henry Hudson and the Lenape Indians and Wall Street being an actual wall, when in the back of her head, she's like, I know it was a fucking wall. It's called Wall Street.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like coming up with cute date ideas, but I always find it interesting that people want to do these big extravagant first dates. Cause that's not sustainable.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ramp up.
Right, you want to get better and better.
Yeah, like I pitch drinks, something basic like let's have a drink, or like let me take you my favorite pizza spot.
Right.
But I want to keep it simple and cheap because I'm poor.
And you also don't know you're going to like the person, so you're going to get exhausted.
Yeah, what do you want to go like take people out to nice steak dinners every week? That's nuts.
You know what's a thing I heard? My old roommate, who actually is kind of a dick, but whatever. Okay. My old roommate met a girl who her dates were errands she had to do. So if it was a bad date, she at least got her grocery shopping done. They met up to do laundry a couple times. I thought that was kind of cute.
Doing laundry I see as potentially cute, but if someone's like, let's go grocery shopping, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Like,
really,
I feel like I would never,
intrigued.
I would never get an idea. I feel like of if she's into me, because I would feel
Really?
like, oh, you know what, she just is getting her grocery
Well,
done.
ideally,
Laundry is like that takes a bit of time. You're in a stationary spot.
Yeah.
You're just with each other. You're not distracted because it's a mindless activity.
Yeah.
Grocery shopping, you got a list, you got things, you're comparing prices. Laundry, it's like, yeah, we're just gonna fold some panties.
But
for
you'd
a half
know
hour.
she was, if that's a good idea. But you would know she was into you if you went on a second date and it wasn't grocery shopping.
Right, but I'd rather know by the end of first. I'd rather have
Yeah.
a good idea. I like knowing kind of where I stand at the end of a first date, at least a little bit.
Sure.
There's someone like I've gone on some dates with where like, and she might be listening. Like, hey, you know who you are. Like there were the first couple dates is like I was very nervous, and at the end of each date, even though we kissed, I was like I didn't know if she was actually into me.
Yeah, well, you doubt it, you know? And some people kiss and they're not into the person.
Yeah.
You don't, I mean, my boyfriend actually got so nervous at the end of our second date, I didn't think I was going to see him again. I wanted to, but I didn't think he was going to see me. Yeah.
What are some like cute date ideas you like to do?
That I like to do? Well, definitely like walking around and
Right.
like, one date I had one night, actually, we saw stand up, which was a bad idea.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Are you on the show?
No.
I don't like going.
Oh, no, that's weird.
Look, one, even without a date, and I know like we're supposed to do it, but I don't like going to shows that I'm not on because it feels weird, especially if I don't know people there. I'm bad at
Yeah.
socializing.
Yeah.
Now let's bring a date to see other people do the thing I claim to be mediocre at.
That's true. I didn't take him to a shitty show. I mean, it was like Rory Scovel headlining at Gramercy. Like, it was fun.
Oh, yeah. No, a theater different. As soon as like we're dealing with like a theater.
Yeah. But it's a
That's
bad
different.
idea for me because Rory Scovel fucking killed. And what's really hot when a guy kills? Who do I want to fuck? Rory Scovel.
You
So now
stop
my
wanting to
date
fuck your
doesn't
date?
look hot. Yes.
I never thought about it from that perspective.
I was like, my date, what's my date? This guy's hot as fuck up there. Like, I was like, this is a bad idea. Like, the way I am, like, how much I love my current boyfriend, I could watch any guy on stage and, like, maybe I'd want to fuck him, but I still want to fuck my boyfriend. But, like, when it's a first date, I'm like, I don't know you.
Good.
You know?
See, I don't like going to a performance, a movie, also a
you
meal.
don't talk.
Yeah.
And meals are too intense. You're sitting there across from each other, and if you don't have shit to say, you're stuck in a meal.
I mean, I always have the shit to say, but the meals are rough because are terrible first dates because no matter how much you're into each other, you have someone who, due to the definition of their job, has to interrupt you constantly.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're going to go do a couple hours before dinner, do not do dinner on a first date.
No, absolutely. And this one was great. This one we did the stand up, which was like, but then
Okay.
we walked all around the city and we ran into this like Indian bakery I love, and he got to try like a dessert there that's my favorite, and it was like we walked through a park, like it was like a great. Just like walking through the city. I love the corny shit. Like I love like rock climbing gyms, and I like mini golf, and I love paddle boating in the lake during the summer. Like I love all that shit. I love it. I love an active date. An active date is great too because if I have I get socially awkward. So like I like to have a thing we're doing we can talk about. I like to have a game or a competition.
An automatic topic of conversation if you have nothing else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we can get through it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Ever do those drawing classes?
No.
I don't know.
I mean, I take drawing classes myself.
They've like, or like they'll do, drinking draws or like
Oh,
the
yeah.
artsy dates where like you go Groupon, and then you can go like do an artsy
I
date.
never thought of it
Goes
as a
make some
date.
like pottery together.
Oh, that's fun. Like in
Fun,
Ghost.
but what if like you have to both have a really good sense of humor because like if one of you's really shitty at the art,
But
you
that's
got
what
to
makes
make fun of it.
Oh, yeah. That's what makes it fun. That'd be so. If I went on a date with someone who took it seriously and couldn't joke, I would be like, well, this is done. Like, what's happening? Yeah. No, my boyfriend's not a comedian.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry.
No, thank God. I mean, I needed a break from us. But he's very funny and like appreciates good humor, and it's like it's so great. And he likes and he appreciates that I'm funny. He doesn't compete with me about it. It's great.
Okay. It's great.
I've definitely dated some competitive, like I've dated some comics, and it's like, stop trying to like outdo. Can we hang out? You know what I mean? Like,
No,
turn
I
it
don't.
off.
Comic, I don't know why. Comic, for as much as dating and sex stuff that I do, it's like, I feel maybe that's the sign that I don't hang enough is that I haven't hooked up with a bunch of comics.
Oh, good. Don't.
I don't know. I feel like I like funny women.
Yeah.
But
I
like
mean,
not funny women like to laugh at me. I mean, like I want someone who's making me laugh.
Right,
So
totally.
comics are ideal for me, but
That's true.
I don't hang enough.
And you know what? Some comics I fucked are fine, and I'm still friends with them, and it's like not a big deal. Some comics were just a nightmare. Most.
so yeah, do share the plight of dating the male comedian.
Oh.
That was
God.
it right there. That's just that
The
guttural noise.
Narcissism mixed with bad sex. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, you're bad at everything sexual, and you think you're like the best person to ever live. And I don't, not that should be your only value, but it's weird how bad you are at sex and how much you think you're the best.
Now, what is bad at sex? Do tell.
Not even considering the fact
Gosh,
that
I
I'm
hope one
able
of
to
them's
come.
listening. No,
Yeah, I know. Not even considering the fact that I'm able to come. Like, just not all of the comics I've banged. Some have been okay. Like 2 have been okay. But like the rest, it's just like.
Do they have credits? No. Okay. Just want to see if there's a correlation between being on, CBS and not.
One of them has credits and one of them has quit. So.
One of them quit comedy?
Yeah, after we broke up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was so happy.
Does his first name start with a B?
No.
Oh, okay.
I know so many quit, and I've also banged so many, so it's hard to know. I like had to take them. I was like B.
But so you're saying like so what is it like when you're like on the dates like with comics? Is it I mean, I feel like you imagine it's going to be constant riffing and tags and bits and
Sometimes it's really great. Like there's one guy who I'm friends with now. We never dated. Actually, we were sleeping together and I called him and was like, I like you. I want to be your girlfriend. And he was like, oh no. And I was like, oh, for sure. But now that was a long time ago. Now we're
was
friends.
that the breakup or
I mean,
or did you agree to just keep banging?
No, I was like, then I have to stop having sex with you. I'm getting attached. Like you're smart and you're funny.
What
That's
was
my
his
recipe.
response?
He was like, he goes, this is very adult of you. And he was like, that's great. This is very adult of you. And I found like condescending. And I was like, yeah, I'm an adult. So
Is he older than you?
no, he's younger than me.
What?
But he's great. He's great.
Okay.
I think he was just in a weird situation that most people are not used to. Most people aren't used to getting a phone call that's very honest with feelings, I think.
I think I don't know if it's the honest with feelings that was the adult part. The adult part is you recognizing that you have a thing you want out of that. He's saying I can't give that to you, and then you did the part that a lot of people don't do, which is say like, okay, well then I cannot continue, but also like you're great and we should stay friends.
Yeah, and we are.
But a lot
It's
of people
great.
will like, not, they can either get really angry or they'll typically just say like, okay, like that was me. Like when I want something more, it was always the women who told me they wanted to keep it casual. Mm-hmm. And so instead of advocating for myself, like, no, this is what I would like this relationship to be, or I'm out. They would be like, I would just be like, okay, I guess I'll keep fucking you.
Well,
It's
that
like
was a function of therapy and age too. Because if I was like 19, I would just fuck people and hope that they would fall in love with me because I fucked them. You know, so
I've read, I don't know, there's been an article about women in comedy, and
No
apparently
way.
it's difficult or something. And so, like, would that ever come into play, like that power dynamic, or
yes, partially in my head, right?
competing
Like if
for similar things,
right? Yes, and I'm a highly competitive. I'm so competitive. I was competing with my current boyfriend just for success. Period. And he is in journalism. Like it's crazy.
Okay.
Like it makes no sense. I was like comparing us, and there's like nothing to compare. But yeah, I mean, definitely like they would get certain things. Like right after that happened with that guy, he got something really big, and I was like, fuck. But now it's fine. But yeah, I mean, only like the real shitheads would make me feel bad. But like if you're with someone who's like kind and good intention, like it's easy to like stay afloat and feel good. It's like some people can like empower you, like some people can make you feel like you can do more.
Mm-hmm. And why did you decide you need to take a break from comics?
Well, at this point, it's becoming a career. Like it used to be summer camp. It was open mics. Now I want it to be my career. So now it's more like sleeping with coworkers than it used to be.
Interesting.
And and it's already hard enough to do comedy. I don't want to walk into a room where I've had sex with 4 people that are in there and do comedy in front of them. Like, it's like enough. Like, it's already hard enough, Although that is good practice, like to perform under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah. Try doing a live podcast with 3 of them on stage with you.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, what you do is outrageous.
Okay. So what's one of the sweeter things this guy has done for you?
My current
Are you all
boyfriend?
right? You nervous?
Oh, the caffeine.
Oh, the caffeine. Okay, just check.
My current boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He was like so romantic when we started dating. Now he's like fine, but
So wait, so did he ramp down with the over acts or ramp up?
No, he ramped down, but he surprises me sometimes.
Okay.
He made me a playlist very recently. It was very sweet. But like and he'll like sometimes he wrote me an email the other night that was just like, I love you. And it was a surprise because I found it in my email, like little things. But I mean, he was like showing me journal entries he wrote about me that were beautiful. Like he would write things to me that were just like, he wrote like, thank you for letting me feel this way about you. We would stay up till 7 a.m. talking. Like,
Well, I mean, he stayed up to 7 a.m. You weren't going to go to sleep anyway.
yeah, I know, right? I'm
like,
just manic
you're
and like
just
throwing
doing your
paint
thing.
at the wall.
Is he nervous about the bipolar and the borderline?
That's
like,
a really good
does he share
question.
any of that with you?
I haven't asked him. He just keeps being like, he's a little repressed, I think, but he has just been like, you're a human. Every part of you is beautiful. I love you. So whatever you come with, I'm ready for. He said, I'm ready to receive that. That's what he said.
He received that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has written me things. My favorite animal is a sloth. He bought me a framed picture of a sloth I keep by my bed. Like shit like that,
Yeah.
He's very sweet. He holds my hand, cuddles me, rubs my head at night when I can't sleep.
Aw.
Yeah,
that's
very
cute.
sweet. Very
That's
sweet.
cute.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
What do you ideally want, like in relationships? Like, are you the marriage type or the kids type?
No
or-
kids. Oh my
No
God.
kids.
Ooh, like scares me. No.
Don't pass on these genes.
Oh God, no. I mean, I'm gorgeous, but that's it. No kids. God. And marriage, like, yeah. I don't know. I'm so confused about monogamy that it's like I'm nowhere near in a place to have any goals at all.
Sure.
But like it's just so I'm like, is that even smart at this point? Like, I don't know.
What is the whole thing about monogamy with you?
I don't.
Because I have some books you might be able to walk over that
Oh my
might be helpful
God,
for you right in here.
I might want to read that. I mean,
I've got 2 copies of The Ethical Slut.
Oh, I would love to read that. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with my boyfriend right now, but like, I'm just talking about seeing monogamous relationships. It's like that. I don't know. How often is that? I feel like humans are meant to, every human's different. I don't know. I feel like I'm meant to like maybe be monogamous for a while. And then we just seem to switch partners. How often do you see 2 people stay together forever? Or like
Nah.
forever doesn't exist.
I mean,
you know?
that's what Dan Savage says is like every relationship ends. Like either you break up or someone dies.
Right.
Like the only time you truly get to last forever together is if you both die simultaneously.
Yeah.
Murder, suicides, plane crash.
It's just everything's temporary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I even hate saying that because I'm in the place where I love my boyfriend where I'm like forever. But like it's like you can't count on it.
But then you also can't have that type of even existential thought with the partner for fear that they might misinterpret it as
You wanting to leave.
right. So you can't even bring that up. Like I brought up the concept of non-monogamy in a cab with my first girlfriend freshman year of college. I was up at visiting her at Tufts. We went to go see this movie, Definitely Maybe. You remember that one with Ryan Reynolds and Derek Luke and
Oh my God, Ryan Reynolds. He had a moment.
what? He's still going.
Is he? Oh, do you
He
love
did
him? I'm
Deadpool
sorry.
and Deadpool. He's my one.
Okay,
He's
you love
my guy.
him.
He's
Okay.
the guy that
So you're
like,
monogamous with
he's-
Ryan Reynolds.
He's the guy
fandom.
that like, yeah, I will totally do the things with him.
Sure, I would too.
for-
Oh
yeah.
my God.
He's Deadpool too. Okay. Anyways, look. Everyone has a Green Lantern in their career, and it doesn't mean they're tainted. No, but he had this movie in like 2007 or 8, Definitely Maybe, and in it he's not dating. He's telling the story of how he met Abigail Breslin's mother. We don't know which one of them is the mom. So he's telling these stories. It's basically 3 women who come in and out of his life a few times. But they tend to, 2 or 3 of them tend to overlap. And then I was thinking, I was like, wow, well, you know, like you can be in love with more than. So I basically, after the movie, we're in the cab back to her dorm, and I told her, I was like, yeah, it was really making me think about like relationships and love, and you know, because obviously, like you can be in love with more than one person over the course of your life.
Yeah.
But then, like, why wouldn't those times be able to overlap? And she freaked out.
Yeah.
I was not proposing
Yeah.
non-monogamy to her. I was not trying to like open a relationship.
Yeah,
I was simply
man.
like, oh, this is making me think about how relationships work. And it was a threatening concept to even introduce.
Yeah.
So similarly, like if you introduce the idea that like relationships don't last forever to the person you're in the relationship with, I feel like that can be like, whoa.
It's scary territory. People don't want to think about. And yeah, I mean,
You want to think about the end.
I mean, yeah, like I've wondered that how couples even propose an open relationship. Like I always wonder because like I think they're fun. I mean, whatever, do your thing. But like I can't imagine saying that to someone and having them not interpret it as who do you want to sleep with? Are you leaving me? Like what? And the person might just be like, no, I just kind of I think it'd be fun if we. I don't know. I think that could be fun. Like yeah, if my
Sleeping
boyfriend
with other people?
Yeah, like if my boyfriend was. I mean, I don't know.
You're totally not monogamous.
I'm not. Well,
You
if my boyfriend was fucking other people, and like, what if he like went on a date and he came and was like, "Oh my god, this date was so weird." Like that'd be like fun.
A cuck queen.
Is that what that is?
We would call you if you wanted to like hear about him fucking someone else.
Kinda.
So cuck holding. It's
Yeah,
like, you know,
sure.
when you get for when it's the chick wants the cuck queen.
Interesting.
I've got a Canadian listener who's like a huge cuck queen. She loves to like hear a partner like.
Does she watch?
She likes to watch. She likes to
Yeah.
hear about things.
I think it's fun. Like, and we've talked about a threesome, so we'll probably have one at some point. But like, that's like part of it. It's not just like me like wanting to go fuck other people. I barely do. Like, not really. I mean, I would if it was open, probably just to because I could.
Well, your sex drive, I would imagine you would.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's
I like
be
to have
real
sex
here.
all the time. I'm just get lazy. I'm like, ugh, I have to like meet a person and do a thing. I don't know if I have time.
You don't have to do a thing. Say, come over.
Yeah.
And if you're not good at this, I will kick you out.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're very straightforward. Be like, you have 12. The first 12 minutes you have to impress me. And if you
that's
don't,
great. That's fun.
I will probably ask you to leave my place.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I have to be on the right app or whatever. That's what it is.
May I recommend Field? I mean, well, actually,
oh my god, my boyfriend was on Field.
well, not for nothing. All the apps are the right app. If you just want to propose, come over.
They're not though. That's what I was trying to say. Is men get scared.
Yeah, but those aren't the guys you wanted to fuck. So you're still on the right app. Those just happen to have been the wrong dudes. But Field is also just more straightforward sexual.
My boyfriend was on Field before he met me. Yeah,
Oh, then he's totally open to non-monogamy.
I think he's open to.
There's not a chance he's on Field and not at least open to that concept. Because
Yeah,
that's like
that's true.
most of what that app is.
No, it's true. He was fucking couples. Yeah,
He was fucking couples? All
yeah,
right.
he's pretty cool.
Is he bi?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I've
Wait, you've been dating him 5 months, you don't know how he identifies?
No, because I've asked him, and I think no, like he said no, but like I don't know. I think he's on the spectrum a little bit. He's had like threesomes with two guys, like him and a guy and a girl. Like
sure. Well, I was curious, like if he's, I didn't know if he's like, when you say he's fucking the couples, like if he's like playing with both parties or not. Because I've had threesomes with other men before, but like we just don't do stuff.
he said they didn't do stuff, but I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know.
You can always, you can fantasize, you can dream.
Yeah, I can dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, eventually it could be a thing we talk about. I like, again, it's not even like me wanting to fuck other people. There's just something about the freedom in it that makes me feel like it would strengthen our relationship. I don't know if that's counterintuitive, but
Yeah,
that's
but
how
the
I
relationship's
feel.
so short. Like, does it even need to be strengthened?
No, it doesn't need
Yeah,
strengthening.
like it's-
I'm thinking future.
Sure.
You brought up marriage, and this is what I think of.
Marriage, threesomes.
Yeah, I'm like,
You
Marriage, open it.
horny bitch.
like it's like at the time he'd want to propose, like I would marry him, but I'd also be like, let's fucking get crazy, let's do it. Not to call it crazy, but let's like try something.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about during our failed recording the word crazy, and
Yes.
I was like, he's got to avoid that one when he's
Avoid
dealing
that
with
word.
I hope I can say a slightly crazy
A little
person.
crazy.
a little
Usama
bit.
calls me cute crazy, and
Cute
I
crazy,
think that's a
definitely.
fun way to put it.
You're definitely cute crazy.
Cute crazy. But yeah, no, here's what it is. This is why I brought up the open thing, is because I'm so skeptical of marriage, but I would love to marry this man.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's why it's like, well, if we were to get married, maybe we'd want to add something to our relationship.
Or you'd want to know that the capability might be there one day.
Because I just don't believe in monogamy for 30 years. I don't believe in it. And it doesn't mean I would fall in love with anyone else necessarily. And maybe, but it would just be like, a fun, like, I don't know. It would just add something that made it more like livable.
Sure.
Yeah.
When you started dating him, how long until you disclosed? I mean, I don't want to say disclose, like, but like, how long till you told him, like, hey, I'm bipolar. I'm borderline.
Oh, that's a good question.
You thought I was gonna go the other one. Don't worry, I'll throw that in later. You're closed with herpes. We're closed strong.
I used to close with herpes in my set.
I know. I've been watching your set for years.
Oh man, yeah, no, you've been seeing old shit. I've gotten worse. No, I'm just
great.
kidding. I've gotten much worse at comedy.
I've gone non-existent. People think I quit.
That's where you want to be.
Oh, God, it's the worst. No, it's not good. I'll be like, it's not that people don't think I'm funny. They're like, oh, does he still do it? I thought he just has sex online.
I know you still do it.
I don't know. I get self-conscious that people think like, because
We
I'm
all
not
think
at the
that.
things all the time.
I think if I don't do it for 3 days, I've disappeared, and it's like, no, you're fine.
But yeah, so wait, when did you tell him like about that?
Oh, you know what? I do distinctly remember. We were having a bit of, what was it? Something, I was having some real borderline symptoms because I had just gotten back into it, and because I had been fine.
Which are?
Oh, extreme fear of abandonment, no trust. There's 9 signs. Severe mood swings, uncontrollable anger. It's basically like a asshole.
Okay.
And I basically, and people, the big one too is like, people appear either all evil or all wonderful.
Okay.
So I suddenly was hating him. And I was noticing that. And so then I was like, you know what? Instead of acting out and like being horrible to him, being horrible to him, I will instead like address the issue that I'm having. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like when you first like told him, like, what was that experience like?
It was frustrating at first because he's so sweet. He just kept kind of being like, he was like, you know what? Like, that's when he's like, every part of you is beautiful and you're just a human being and humans feel these things. And I was like, yes, humans feel these things. But this is a little invalidating because I'm telling you I'm diagnosed with something that is very real. Yeah. So it took a while to get him to like accept that I have something that like not every although every human has a fear of abandonment, has all these things, it's different in borderline. Is
it that he doesn't really in general acknowledge mental illness as serious as it is, or is it that he thought like you might? Because look, we all, I think a lot of people like to exaggerate things. So did he think maybe saying like, oh, I'm just like a little bit manic in that cute way where it's like not the diagnosed, but you just self-describe yourself as manic?
I think he has a problem accepting diagnosable mental illness a little bit from like, I think like he has some bad anxiety issues. I've mentioned going to a psychiatrist.
But he wouldn't be able to know. I'm just, sometimes I get like this.
Yeah. He's just like, he won't do it.
It's not a chronic thing.
I told him today that he has anxiety and maybe wants to go to a psychiatrist, and he played me a punk song about how America's over medicated, and I'm like, I get it, but like you could talk to someone is all I'm saying. But yeah, he it was just him trying to be sweet. It was him trying to be like, I think he thought I was like being down on myself and being like, I'm the worst, and he was trying to make me feel better, and it was like, I'm not saying I'm the worst, I just need you to know I have this thing, and it's important to know if we're gonna date. Right. That's all. And like, I'm gonna try to be the best version of myself I can be. But if I suddenly go into hiding, or I get really, if I sometimes ask you, are you leaving me? Try to be patient, because I genuinely will believe that from time to time. Right.
And what did it feel like for you to do that? I mean, I guess you had to do it multiple times, it sounds like.
A little bit. It felt good. It felt, because normally when I didn't know what was wrong, this is the only time I've been in a relationship when I've been diagnosed. So in the past, it was constant breaking up. It was constant like, fuck you, you're leaving me and I know it. And like them being like, what are you talking about? And me, it was like, so this felt more like organized.
How big, like how large would these like episodes get with these other dudes?
Oh my God. Well, I would drive people off a cliff. Like I would drive people insane. I would drive guys. So there was another comic who would like witnessed me in my other relationships, and he was like, Hannah drives men insane. They go crazy. And it's like, I would just piss them off. Like,
or would you drive people to improv? Like, what would you,
oh God, I met some of them in improv.
No.
I just would get like angry, and they wouldn't know why, because I would make up situations in my head and then be convinced they were real. And it would just be like, you're cheating. And they'd be like, what? And then I would just, if you accuse someone loudly and angrily enough that they're fucked up and doing something to you and they haven't done that thing, it'll get upset.
Well, how do you differentiate eventually the difference? Like when do you, like, after the fact, when you're out of an episode, go back and realize, because like, so you recently called someone out on like the Facebooks.
Yes.
Another comic.
Yes.
And after the fact, how do you differentiate between, no, that was real, but I was having an episode, and I was just having an episode?
Actually, I was not having an episode with him. He really is awful. And actually, I wasn't able to differentiate. I doubted myself a lot, as most women do after bad relationships. I don't know if men do, probably. But it was that I want to say 8 other women have now come to talk about him with me. And so I was like, enough's enough. Like, another woman called me just to talk to me and told me what he put her through. And
after
I was like,
you made that post?
Right before. And that's when I was like, and I don't have enough clout to get him in real trouble. But but it did, enough people messaged me and like aren't going to book him anymore and like some festivals and stuff. So that's good.
What were the behaviors? Like, what was the situation?
He would insult my body all the time.
When, just some context. So, like, someone you were dating, someone just fucking, like, when was this around?
It was weird. It was like we were just fucking a few years ago.
Okay.
And then it became more emotional. Like, he kept becoming more emotionally involved, but we never called each other boyfriend, girlfriend. So I was fucking other people. I don't know if you knew that, but it was to the point where I was fucking other people, but I didn't necessarily want him to know that.
Okay.
So it was like a weird in-between place.
Okay.
But he had a girlfriend, it turns out, I didn't know about.
Okay.
And she was someone that I respect very much. She's a comic, and that sucked. And he like a monogamous girlfriend. And he like would insult my body. He would insult my weight. He would tell me I'm not funny if I did well on a show. Like, one time I did well on a show, and he was like, well, yeah, you went 3rd. Of course you did well, which that logic is bizarre.
Yeah. Bizarre, but also like, why? Why take that?
Yeah. No, he was like super shit. And the last girl he dated, I mean, God, like, her brother had committed suicide. And so he kept saying he was going to commit suicide all the time if she didn't like come over, or like, and he would, oh my God, he would invite me and other girls he was like cheating with to the same event and watch us like interact. It was weird. That's weird.
That's some psycho shit.
He was and it's hard because I'm so removed from it at this point that I don't give a shit about him. So it's hard for me to.
Well, what made you want to go and like publicly go within our community? Go, hey, this is a guy that, like, okay, he hasn't. If I remember correctly, like, look, this guy hasn't assaulted anyone, but he's a shitty dude, in my opinion. And there's a bunch of other women who have told me the same things. And I want y'all, like, what makes you want to make that type of post? Because I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I've had those types of posts made about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I come at it from, but I do look at both sides of those types of things.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, it's what he does to us mentally. It's, first of all, he's gaining more and more power in the industry, which is like scary. And second of all,
is he?
Kinda.
This is how out of the loop I am.
No,
I'm like,
not quickly, not well, but like
get
a
one of those
little
Comedy
bit.
Central shorts thing?
No,
Okay.
he does not he's not on shit, really. But I don't want him to be getting. But it's like what he did to us mentally. Like, you can tell in the female comic community, we can tell when someone's dating. Can I say his name?
I don't care.
When someone's dating Kyle Ayers, we can tell because they're on stage shaky, nervous, bombing, like good comics.
Wait, when they're dating him and he's there?
No, even if he's not there, he gets into your head. Like, he would tell me I'm not funny so much that I started bombing all the time.
And I'm not questioning you at all. I'm just curious, like, what fucking context do you be like, by the way, you know you're not funny, right?
He would straight up be like, oh, I'm so far from
like, Andrew used to do that to me when we date, but like in a in a roasty manner.
In a roasty, no, but I know the difference.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a comedian. I know the difference.
So like, why is it, like, where does this come out of? Like,
I'd be like, it would just be like, I'm years out of it, but I would be like, oh, I did well on this, or I have this show tonight. And he was like, you're booked on a show? He's like, that's gonna suck. Or shit like that, but like, not like we've been roasted, like. And then there was, and to the comments about my body, like, he gets into your head and like fucks with it to the point where you like, And he uses like he'll be like, I'm mentally ill and I need help. And then he would like, if I was out being social is the only time. If I was out being social, he would call me or text me and be like, I'm confused. I don't know where I am. I'm hearing voices. But he's fucking with the wrong girl because my parents met in a mental hospital. And I'm like, get your ass to a hospital. I'm not coming over.
Or I don't call your girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't know about yet. But yes. But yes, like that's the thing is like, yeah, it was very manipulative. It was like weird, shady shit like that. And it was woman after woman. And like, it's like, stop. You know what I mean? I don't know. The last woman he saw, she's like going to like a, like survivors of dating a narcissist group or something. Like she's in like therapy from dating because she dated him for a long time. I got out after like 7 months. I dumped him.
What snapped you out of that? And was it during an episode or not?
I couldn't tell
you. Not that it would
no.
invalidate. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm trying to paint a visual.
No, it wasn't. I was very clear-headed. He was at JFL, and I talked to a friend of mine.
Did he get JFL?
Oh, he goes there with one of his shows.
With his funnier friends? Is that...
Yeah. yeah. He's so funny. He's so good. No, he goes there with like some show. I don't know. Whatever. He was at JFL just loitering maybe. Just standing there.
Everyone, I'm just going up to JFL. Oh, we got one of the showcases? I'm going to be at JFL.
I'll be selling snacks.
I will be physically around the vicinity of shows.
I should have done that this year. But so I messaged him on fucking Facebook. Yeah. I was like, I'm done. You make me feel bad about myself. And I fucking danced around my kitchen like I was newly in love.
Yeah?
Like I was so happy. I felt like a weight lifted. I never missed him. I maybe once or twice, and like it was just such a bad. Ugh.
Was there some kind of event or thing that you saw or thought about that like snapped you? You were like, I deserve better.
Yeah, I was just talking to my friend. My friend was like, he treats you like shit. A few of my friends were like, he treats you like absolute garbage. And the fact that you're walking around thinking you're not funny and you're fat and you're worthless, like he's saying that shit to you. And I was like, yeah, he is. And like something, and he had been gone for like a week. Oh yeah, and he would leave town and then post pictures of girls on his Instagram and like be very vague about it. And like just shit like that to fuck with everybody that he was fucking and whatever.
And how did you find out about like the other chicks he was cheating with?
My friend, one of the chicks he was cheating with went up to my friend and said, oh yeah, I just got dumped by Kyle Ayers. And my friend texted me and she was like, how long you been seeing Kyle? And then we just did the math and I was like, oh my God, there's like a gang of us.
Right.
Which is so weird because he's so gross. I don't know how he does it.
I mean, people say that about me too. They're like, why is he's getting, what?
No, you're not gross like Kyle. Like, it's like, I don't, and he's like rude and it's like, I don't, and like he has such great
But what
friends.
Are those conversations like between y'all? Like that's very interesting to me is like you all, like some of y'all realize you had a similar experience with the same dude who was cheating on his girlfriend with all of y'all.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't imagine it's a competitive thing. I gotta imagine there's more of a camaraderie.
We band
feeling.
Together, sure. And I can't reveal too much, but
sure,
like,
no. You don't have to say people's names or anything. But like, what's I'm just curious, like the feelings you feel talking to one of these other chicks.
Oh, so good and validated. Yeah. Oh, so because you do question. I think when you're treated badly, you do sit back and you go, is it just me? I don't know. And like women, like especially if you're with anyone who tends to make you feel crazy. Or like especially abusers like will make it feel like it's your fault or you're being dumb like or you know like there's something wrong with you. Like it's so validating to hear women be like, he did the same thing to me. He did the same. Yeah, I was bombing all. I felt like shit about myself. All he did was comment on about this scar I have on my arm and how ugly it was, that my boobs were uneven.
Like like I'm possibly autistic, and I know not to like say. I know the only thing to say about like the chick's body is how that it's great. Right. It's like it's not.
Oh my God, no! It was I was
like,
fat. This last girl's boobs were uneven. The girl before her, she had scars, and they were ugly. And it was just. It's like stop. But I mean, he does it on purpose. Yeah. No, he's such a sick person. Yeah, so don't date Kyle Ayers if you know him. Go ahead and spit in his face.
I'm not gonna say go spit in his face only because
legal reasons.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'll let you say it, and I'll just say I'm I have.
Billy's just here. My words are not Billy's words.
Yeah, I'm just here. I'm existing.
Yeah.
But it sounds. I'm glad that you were able to snap out of that and not have to get dumped by that.
Yeah, and it's
That
usually
seems
like,
nice.
well,
like I really smiled when you said like you danced around your kitchen afterwards because that sounds like
felt so good.
sounds freeing.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
What a delight. I would dump him a million times over. What a high. Felt really good.
Fantastic. Well, Hannah, thanks for chatting. Thanks for coming over so last minute again.
Oh my God, of course.
Do you have a little extra time? Maybe do a little bit bonus episode.
Sure.
I was thinking maybe you can give my listeners some tips on tips for dating someone who's borderline and bipolar.
Oh, sure.
I think we touched on it a little bit in the other recording, and I think those are very useful things. It's something I definitely get emails about from time to time. And someone who's dated people with mental illness myself, I could use a good refresher because apparently I wasn't too good at it.
yeah. Actually, what you said last time, I was like, no, Billy.
Oh God,
That's not what you do.
Do you remember what I said?
You said something
hold
about
on,
like.
I just want to know if
yeah.
you remember.
Yes.
Okay, so in the bonus episode for all my $5 and up fanors, you can hear what terrible thing I said on tomorrow's bonus episode. You can go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast to get access to that and over 100 others. But for now, Hannah, where can people go find you?
Instagram and Twitter is at Boone Comedy, Boone. And then my website is boonecomedy.com for bookings and writing and all that.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to learn what it is I said that was so not good. But for now, why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody.
Did you enjoy that one? I hope you did. Check out Hannah on the places, boonecomedy.com. Are you going to let us know what you thought about the show? Shoot us a tweet at TheBillyPresida. Use the hashtag ManWhorePodcast so we know what you thought about the show. You can also make a comment about this episode on my Instagram at BillyIsPresida or over at the Man Whore Podcast Facebook page. Or maybe you want to tell me in person, and you want to tell me in person next spring at Podcastapalooza, and maybe you want to bring me as your plus one. Yes, I'm aware that this is the end of August, and I'm telling you to hold your feedback until next spring in Miami, but I feel like it will be worth it. Again, go to podcast-a-palooza.com/manwhore and get your tickets for what looks like the second coolest sex podcast meetup event of the year. Because like obviously ManWhoreCon's number one. Maybe you can't make it that weekend. Maybe you want to do both weekends. You want to go to Podcastapalooza. And seriously, if someone wants to take me, shoot me an email. You can shoot me an email for all sorts of reasons, right? Yeah, you can. You tell me what you thought about Hannah. You can take me to Podcastapalooza, or you can send your titty pictures or your advice questions, whatever you want. Send that over to manwhorepod@gmail.com. The best way to support the Man Whore Podcast and keep it going within the capacity in which it's running. Wow, what am I writing a fucking legal contract with that order of words? Look, become a member of my Patreon community, connect with like-minded listeners, and sleep easy knowing that you're supporting the show. Become a member for as little as $2 at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Next week, we got a doozy. Next week, we got Paul Keeble. And I know for a fact none of you know who Paul Keeble is. But you might know who he works for. He's the Chief Strategy Officer at AshleyMadison.com. Yeah. We're going to talk about cheating next week. Stay faithful and stay slutty.
Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God.
If you want to say into the mic so I can just pretend I know how levels work.
It's very straightforward.
Sure. We'll just leave. And then after I leave, I'll be like, wait, that person. Like when I started dating him, I thought he was so perfect and amazing. I was a piece of shit next to him, and then it went from that to he's the most evil piece of shit in the world, and I have to leave. Like.